Mhm.
Hey, another in my series of my methods. This in response to a Kiltmaker on the prairies, who we had a discussion going back and forth about shaping the apron. So I'm going to show you my method. As I said, I do the pleats first, leaving the outside apron, the front apron till the end. Now I've gone ahead and worked on this because I'm on a deadline, but I'll repeat my methods. Having done all the pleats, I then measure the pleats and then out to the finished dimension, which is 42 inches, which I marked on the canvas. And then, having made my fringe, which is done with 2 layers of cloth and a pad stitch, which is to say a stitch that shows an absolute minimum, like just a prick on this side, and a larger stitch on this side, which will be covered by the seam. Having done that, I double check my measurement again. I attach the canvas with a herringbone stitch we see under here, and then I attach my strap in so that it'll be inside when we sew up. And I prefer that method to another method which you'll see where the strap is sewn on the back of the apron, because the cloth often will peel away just from the tension that's under when it's being worn and look very unprofessional. So I sew it up like this. I'm just going to pin this very quickly right now, but I pin at waist and hip to the line. Wherever possible, I use an element of the tartan to determine to show where I'm going to be sewing the apron to. In the absence of that, I do it at about ½ inch, about a pinky's width, and then I'll mark a chalk line. Now, properly, the apron should be parallel to from the top to the line of the buckle and the strap. But because that occurs in the middle here, it's not completely possible. We do the best we can. Pin it like so. I'd probably pin it a few more times. Cut this canvas back so that when I sew it, we're not sewing to that canvas. And then I reverse it to the bottom, because with the A line, we don't want just a straight line. We need a powder horn sort of curve. And in this, I'm referring to what tailors call rack of eye. I'm remembering the musculature, the build of the customer's legs. So I've gone, and I'm just doing this very quickly right now to illustrate. I pin up at the bottom, and I'm going to do this I might do this several times before I get it right. And frankly, if the customer is, shall we say, much of a challenge to fit, I might have him in for an interim fitting, because we don't always get this right the first time or even the second time. I usually do, touch wood, because I've been doing it this way for a long time. As you can see, we're not going straight out. My curve has come out from the widest point of the seat and then curved back, so it's gone straight, well, a bit of a curve there, a greater curve, and then it becomes parallel for the balance of the piece. You don't always get it right the first or second time. It's great if the person can drop by for fittings. Then, having done that, when you've established that, we establish a matching curve on this side, remembering that we're going to have sort of a trompe l'oeil, sort of an optical illusion, because this side of the apron is de facto longer because of the fringe. So you may do it, you may have to often do this by eye, and sometimes I wait until the final fitting. When the customer tries the kilt on for the last time, I will leave this, I'll press everything else, I'll leave this unpressed, I'll hang it on him, and then as he's wearing it, I'll see exactly where the cloth wants to lie, and then baste it on him, and then press it. It shows the customer, reassures the customer about the quality of work and attention to detail they're getting, and to make sure that you get this right first time, because you'll frequently see kilts where the left-hand edge of the apron is pulling out, and that's because it was pressed in the wrong line. I hope that answers all the questions for that particular Kiltmaker, and if not, we'll just keep the dialogue going. So thank you, and stay tuned.